Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy and Alonso and Matt. And I have not seen Judy and Punch. These folks have. Matt's going to describe.
You know, if we were really cool, Punch would have come in off screen and hit you with a little stick. All right, so Judy and Punch is a very, very weird stylized take on the Punch and Judy kind of legacy. Mirrah Wasikowska. Wasikowska is Judy. Damon Herriman plays Punch. And they are trying to get their puppet show kind of back off the ground. And they live in this kind of seedy little town called Seaside that we learn very early on is not anywhere near the sea. This, if you know the story of Punch and Judy and you know what to expect and which characters are going to show up, all of that gets delivered here, but this is still a very offbeat take on this, including what happens to the baby and who gets beaten with sticks and who does not. And it becomes this very interesting, stylized kind of I almost want to say film noir, but it's definitely a weird story. I loved this movie. I thought it was really, really well made. I loved Mirrah Foulkes' direction of this. It moves along really well. It's got this great score that adds to the tension here. I thought this was terrific, but I don't think Christy felt quite the same way.
I really admire the ambition of it. This is Mirrah Foulkes' first film. She wrote it and directed it. She's an Australian actress. She's married to David Michaud, who did Animal Kingdom, for example. And this is her first film. And I love the ambition of it, but we have talked several times about what the tendency sometimes is with a first-time filmmaker to cram everything in. You know, like I really, really love The Last Black Man in San Francisco, but one criticism that often comes up with that is like, wow, they're throwing it all in there. You know, they're trying to get it all in. And this, I think, is the case with her too, because it is this really cool anachronistic take on a traditional, you know, I don't know whether I call it folklore or, you know, the right. Puppet show has been around for centuries old puppet show that's seen various incarnations. But like the way that people talk and the use of music and like there's a whole scene of Judy doing Tai Chi in the forest with a bunch of gypsies to a Leonard Cohen song. Like there's an interesting mix of stuff, but underlying all of that is what is meant to be a very thought-provoking take on Me Too, right? On women who have suffered abuse and are getting their revenge and are taking it back. And again, as we're talking about with Shirley, a patriarchal society, this very much is as well. And it's a society ruled by like mob
and superstition, right?
Theory. Right. And
right. And anyone that, you know, if you need to get rid of somebody, just call them a witch.
Right. There's police brutality. I mean, there's a lot goes, you know, conspiracy theories and accusations. There's a lot going on here that is, you know, definitely resonates. And then you have a woman who has suffered really horrific emotional and verbal and physical abuse, you know, ultimately seeking her revenge. And it's sort of a heady mix of styles and themes. And I don't know that it all works simultaneously. I love the ambition behind it. I love the look of it. And I even am okay with the anachronistic nature of, you know, some of the pop culture references in here, because from the very beginning, as you point out, Matt, there's a title card that says Seaside, somewhere in the country, nowhere near the sea. And so, you know, you're kind of in a playful, self-referential world here. And I like that, but there's almost like too much going on. And yeah, like I really appreciate the rough-hewn nature of the setting and the costumes, and Mirrah Wasikowska is like this fantastic like anchor in the middle of it all in a world full of weirdos. And, you know, her husband is just this awful, megalomaniacal, abusive, grandstanding con man who lives only for applause, and he gets his audiences riled up and lives for the applause. Like, where have we seen this kind of figure before? So if you are tired of that kind of male figure, you might not have the appetite for this at this point in your life, but Damon Herriman is really good in it. Everyone's good in it. It's just, I don't know, maybe trying to do too much.
I don't disagree with doing too much, especially like the end, especially like the big speech that happens is a little like, that's a little on the nose, I think. But that being said, I was totally taken with this movie. Like it was offbeat and weird and, you know, riffing right off the bat, and the kind of the way that the characters talk to each other it kind of brought me into the story in a way that, like, okay, this is what it would have felt like, even though, you know, back then, you know, in the time period that this is set, people would probably speak in a style that we wouldn't, you know, maybe more formal, a way we wouldn't recognize. This would be how they felt as they talked to each other. There is a lot of craziness kind of swirling around Wasikowska. I feel she reminds me of Sarah Polley in Baron Munchausen a bit. Right. And
she's always really cool. She always makes really interesting choices, and she's always like the smart figure in these films, you know?
Yeah. But this movie totally worked for me. Or not totally, for the most part, really worked. It definitely has some stuff to say. In a couple places, it maybe gets a little ham-fisted about it. I went into this I had this movie totally confused with something else. For some reason, I was thinking that this was some upcoming movie. Oh, now I can't even remember the actor's name. I thought this was a different movie, and I thought that this was some like low-key heist movie.
Gretel and Hansel?
No, I didn't think it was that. Who is it that from The Social Network?
Rooney Mara?
No, the guy that played
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, I thought this was like an Eisenberg, but I don't know what I got this confused with. And so the first few minutes, I'm like, where's Jesse Eisenberg in this?
He's not in here creating Facebook.
I don't know what I was thinking of. I don't know.
Did you catch the Gladiator reference?
Oh yeah, that Gladiator reference was amazing. I was
it's funny. I mean, again, this is like part of the boldness of it that I admire.
Right.
Like it steals one of the most famous lines from Gladiator.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, this movie, I loved this movie. You know, the music choices are terrific. This again, like there's a couple places that especially towards the end that it loses its way a little bit. But then I feel like it kind of saves it. You know, this is the blackest of black comedies. This is a super black comedy. Yes. And I somewhat feel like on his best day, this is what Tim Burton wishes he was doing.
It is daring in a way that Tim Burton movies have not been in a long time, and macabre in a way that his films have not been in a long time.
Particularly Tim Burton movies starring Mirrah Wasikowska.
Yeah, there are sequences here, like early on, that it just might lose you. Like Punch is so horrific. He's so awful that there are moments where you might just want to like turn it off and walk away.
I'll tell you what, though, Shirley Jackson would have loved this movie.
It's a good, bless you, Alonso. It's a good double feature.
Oh, yeah.
That is true.
This is the Don't Get Married, Everything Sucks double feature.
This is the Creation and Madness double feature.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
All right, I'm saying 5.6. I wanted to like it more.
I'm saying 8.7.
You are. So 7.2 is our number.
All right. Well, Judy and Punch streaming now. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and why not drop by our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. It's where you can catch our TV recaps and other fun stuff that we do exclusively for our members. So hope to see you there. If you've already joined, thanks so much. We super appreciate it. And we will see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.